Let's explore desire. Let's explore what is it you really want in your life. Let's explore a concept I heard called borrowed ambition. Let's explore this sentence here that I'm going to read out to you. I heard from somebody recently. He said, "Your drive for success is just a trauma response." I'm curious what you think about this statement. Your drive for success is just a trauma response. Let's get into it. It's a beautiful morning here in Tulum, Mexico. I went up on the roof. It was raining. I put on my shorts, no shirt, went up there in the rain, did some Tai Chi. It's a good morning. Let's talk about this, all right? So when you ask yourself, what is it that I really want? What do I want in my life? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? What experiences do I want to have? What do I want to have in terms of material items? Money, cars, houses, right? Watches, clothes, all the stuff that we can have. What do you really want? And even the words ambition and drive and success, what does that bring up for you? You know? Does it make you happy? That's actually a great question. Does it even make somebody excited or happy? Most conversations around success and ambition, they come with this energy of like, all right, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. We got to get something that's in the future that I don't have right now, and I got to get it. And if I don't get it, then the subtext of that is I did something wrong. I'm an idiot. I didn't figure something out that other people could have figured out. There's a whole narrative that comes with success and what you think you want. There's a phrase called borrowed ambition that I heard recently. I think it's from a philosopher, like a French philosopher. It might be Lacan. It might be one of those French existentialists. But the phrase borrowed ambition, I didn't even look up what it means, but I get it. I want to kind of interpret it myself as a modern day philosopher. Borrowed ambition. I'm curious also, when I say that, when you hear that phrase, what comes up for you? For me, when I hear borrowed ambition, it makes me wonder this. How much of what I want is actually genuine to my desires? In other words, do I actually want most of what I think I want? What I say to other people that I want? Or has that been conditioned into me? Think about something that you want. Maybe you want a cool house. Maybe you want a trip to Bali. Maybe you want, fill in the blank. Just notice what that feels like to want that thing. And then ask yourself, why? Just look closer at the actual desire. A buddy of mine, he said, dude, my girl just wants to go to Greece and drink wine and look at the Mediterranean Sea, not the ocean. And he was like, how is that different than drinking wine and looking at the ocean, off the coast of California? We're right here. Why do you need to fly to Greece for 8 hours and get an Airbnb and spend 4 days there and then fly back and just do all that shit? Why that? And you can already kind of imagine, like, oh, because I saw it on Instagram. Like, if we're really honest, I saw it on Instagram, or somebody that I like and that I want to be more like, or that I think is happier than me on social media is doing that and is telling me that that's actually how she's happy. So I need to do that because then I'll feel happier because What they won't say is, I feel a void in my life. I feel like I'm not living enough, or I'm not happy. There's an emptiness that I don't want to sit with. And so I think going to Greece and dropping 3 to 4K, minimum, is going to somehow help that. It's interesting, isn't it? Borrowed ambition. So the question there with borrowed ambition is, how much of your ambition that you say is yours, this is what I want, this would fulfill me, is really what you're saying. This would fulfill me. These experiences, this amount of money, this relationship, this level of health or whatever, or physique. Maybe your business hits a certain amount of gross revenue a month or whatever. Whatever these ambitions are that we have as humans. Do you really care about them? Because that's really what it comes down to. Do you really need the trip to Greece? Do you really need the 50K months? Do you really need to close more real estate deals? Do you really need to get that wardrobe, or that 10K gold watch, or the Aston Martin, or the villa penthouse, or somewhere in the world that you have in your mind? Oh man, if I can just have that lifestyle, that setup, then I can just sit back in the chair and look out over the ocean and say, I did it. I'm not a failure. I had these desires. I believed the desires, and then I fulfilled them, and here we are. And then an hour later, a week later, you're in the same exact spot. You need a new dream. You need a new package of desires. Now I need $1 million a month. Now, why am I not Jeff Bezos? Why don't I make 250 million or whatever? This is the trap of ambition. This is the trap of desire when it's not simply looked at clearly, unemotionally. So the question today, and basically in this video, is, I'll put it to you this way. I don't actually think you want most of what you want. I think that it's been conditioned into you, and that you think you want those things, but you've just been told that those things are worth wanting. Maybe you don't even want a relationship. Maybe you actually want to go paycheck to paycheck. Follow me on this. Why am I smiling? Because no one talks like this. Maybe you want to be dependent on an employer, and that's fine. Maybe you want to be, I see some people here in Mexico going on the street with their bike, and they pick up the cans, and then I assume they sell them to the state or the government, and they get their lunch for the day. And they do that every day. They pick the old Coke cans out of the construction sites, and they take them somewhere, and then apparently it's worth their time because they're still alive. So I assume they're getting fed from it, and that's their life. That's their existence. How is it any different than just the billionaire in the penthouse in New York City at the top of the tower, or one of the towers there? I was looking at some of those years ago. I was like, oh yeah, how much are those? $8,000 a month, $20,000 a month for a crazy penthouse that overlooks, it's one Manhattan Square. You can look it up. One Manhattan Square. I think it's 8,000, 20,000 a month, something like that. But I just looked at it and I'm like, I'm afraid of heights. I don't even want to live there. Looking out there, just knowing that I'm at the top of a skyscraper, I'm like, ugh, that freaks me out, dude. I was born before 9/11, you know what I mean? So the message of this is actually a liberating one. That's my point of this. Is that if you sit with this long enough, you might realize you don't even want really anything. How crazy. Maybe you don't actually want to be successful. Because who's defining success? From since you were a baby, you have been receiving the most powerful cultural messaging of what you should do and what you need to do to feel okay about yourself. Since you were in the crib, and even before then, you were hearing freaking TV sounds in the womb. When you really zoom out and look at your life from before you were born to now, you have been immersed in the most MK Ultra like mind control, brainwashing, conditioning. And once you can just admit that, just slow down and take a couple breaths and realize, damn, they have had me from the start. Then you can say, wow, do I really want anything? And just don't rush to fill that in. Don't rush to answer the question. Maybe you don't want anything. What a radical idea. Maybe all of your ambitions and your dreams are borrowed. They're not even yours. It can be quite liberating. If you can it's not even a hard concept to understand. I'm not a philosopher here. This is pretty easy to get. We didn't really touch on the fact, it's not a fact, it's a hypothesis, as pretty much everything. There's some facts, but the hypothesis of ambition and success is a trauma response. And I'll just say one word on that. And that what I mean by that is that, and maybe you can see that maybe you interpret that statement in a different way. And I'd like to hear what you think about all this in the comments, please. I want to hear. I don't want to just talk to myself, even though existentially I think we're all talking to ourselves. But this is a multiplayer game. Let's be real. This is a multiplayer game. There's no solipsism here. It's not just me. It's not just you here. We're all sharing this experience. Don't freak out. But when you really feel that drive for success, really take a breath and just look at it and look closer, because it may probably be built on an artificial illusion that other people have told you that you're lacking something and that you need it filled in order to feel okay for the day. That is what all media and advertisement is built on. They create a gap. They tell you that, oh, you're missing this. Oh, you're missing that. So you need this in order to be back to wholeness. What I'm telling you is, do not be a simp to that. And once you see that, you're just like, wow, marketing is so constructed. It's so constructed. Like marketing and advertising, it's like, oh yeah, they're telling me something. They're trying to persuade me that I lack something fundamental to deep, deep serenity. But the truth couldn't be further from the truth. You have everything right now, whether you make another dollar, to be complete and in serenity. So just notice what your dreams are, what your desires are, what your ambitions are. Maybe make a list of them. And go all the way. I want this and that and this and that. And I want to do this. I want to experience this. And then really just sit with them and say, man, interesting. How many of these do I really want? That's the video for the day. I really genuinely want to hear your take. Like, do we need desire? Do we need ambition? Can it be from a healthy place? Share your comments. I'd love to hear. And we're in this together. All right. Peace.